Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. It's my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, good people. I hope that you are doing phenomenal and amazing today. We are here to present another episode of The Real Journey of Entrepreneurship. I told you, as you have been watching this series, I have been interviewing some of the most amazing and courageous entrepreneurs who have set themselves in this space to decide that they are going to make impact and by presenting their gifts within this world. I am the founder and CEO of 11375, and I too am on this journey with you in the space of entrepreneurship. It is our mission to bring you resources. It's also our mission to provide you with alternative strategies to help you to grow your business. And so I am always excited when I have the opportunity to sit at the table because, as I say, I have the best seat in the house where I have the opportunity to interview courageous and daring entrepreneurs, business owners who have made the decision that they too are going to step into this space. They are presenting their talents, their gifts, and also their vision within the spaces that they serve. And guess what, friends? My next guest is no different. We have the founding principal of RedLeaf New York. Derek Chan is the principal. Like he's the person, he's the CEO behind all of this wonderful work that he's doing at RedLeaf. He has over a decade of experience, even though he doesn't look his age. So when you see his face, you're going to be like, oh, okay. Decade. He has wealth of experience and has built a reputation of delivering industry leading visuals and creative content. And what I can tell you is that when you meet Derek, you're going to find that what he's building through this specific space and through RedLeaf is that it's more than just the visuals, what I discovered. It is about connecting, beauty within the work that they do, but it's also about the expertise in architectural design. So enough of me, right? Let's bring on my good friend, Derek. Hi, Derek.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Great to see you. Thank you for that introduction.
You're welcome. Derek, the bio is very robust, very robust.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do in this space, and let's go.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Derek Chan, I run a studio that does, we make CGI, that's computer generated visuals for real estate. So every time you see a fancy building go up, that's, in New York City where we're from, there are all sorts of visuals. Those will be like still renderings or maybe now films or even interactive applications that really try to sell what it is, what it's going to be, what it's going to look like. And these are used for both selling the properties or raising money. And so we're involved in doing that. People need to understand that first. My background is an architect. I am trained as an architect. I'm still a registered architect. I used to work at one of the big, companies in town called KPF that does a lot of the tall buildings in New York City. So One Vanderbilt, Hudson Yards is sort of their ilk. And while there is an architect, when you do a lot of visuals, if that's what you like, because that's what sells projects when you're an architecture firm to clients, developers, and that's what sells it now. And I found that I was excited to build a business, which I was at the core, I was excited to build a business, and I felt that I could create the most value for people by doing that, creating that little bit that helps move projects forward. And that's why I made a business out of it.
Decide on the type of products and services that you were going to offer.
Yeah. So I knew it was going to be a segment of architecture, right? So creating visual content, computer visual content. So the products were sort of self-explanatory at the time. It was just images that were computer generated that told the story of architecture in spaces. That was the easy part. In the early days, we would service architects. So that's a really great way to start a business. You sort of become one of the vendors that services who you're used to purchasing from. That is a great way because you understand the customer so well. It used to be you. And that really gave us a lot of momentum out of the gates. Over time, we've shifted to serving developers directly and finding a niche that way. I think over time, the business has evolved, and the business model made more sense for us to be able to create some design through our architectural expertise and combine it with visuals, as you had mentioned, to create a product that really helps developers directly. And we found that's a more satisfying niche for us. We work with fantastic, internationally renowned architects all the time. We love it. But we like to work hand in hand with them, trying to deliver a vision rather than sort of delivering for just them directly. But so I guess the product was servicing myself at first and then finding other spaces to move that into. Anita, is it helpful for me to show what we do for your viewers just before we get to that?
Sure,
Okay.
It is.
So just very briefly, what we do is share screen. This is our website, and might not go any further, but basically we create, this was photography backplate that we shot with some motion video in it. And these two towers are computed in the computer. And this was all to sell this tower here, 50 Hudson Yards, 50 Hudson Yards. It's currently, I think, it's the biggest office tower in Manhattan by square footage for sale, and it's done very well. And so we do a lot of CG content like this, visuals to sell apart, new residential builds, big new projects, and sometimes public realm stuff. I'll stop there. I hope that gives some sense of what we do.
No, that gives a great deal of what you do. And so if someone was interested in like this, that you call this CGI, what does CGI actually stand for?
Computer generated images.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're not hand drawing. It's not built yet. You can't go take a picture of it.
So I'm going to ask you another question. AI, right?
Yeah.
Which is huge. I'm sure it's been around for quite some time, but we're all becoming a part of the sauce right now.
Yeah.
How, do you integrate some of that into your designs, or do you have someone, have your own without doing trade secrets and things like that?
Yeah. We're definitely integrating it. It's a very salient question for anyone doing white collar ideas work, right? We're using it as a tool. There are certain things that we can do now that we simply couldn't do because they were cost prohibitive. An example would be we used to do, in our images, the population is very important to show a diversity of people often, for public realm work especially. You want to make sure that you show a population that is, representative of the ethnic mix there. And it used to be that if you really wanted to do high level work, like when we did, work for, say, Google, who has, is willing to invest in making sure they're conveying the right community that they want to do. It's a very expensive process of hiring models, getting a studio space, getting the photography, and all for the purpose of getting the right population. Through AI, we are now able to use a couple tools that are both using the computer, to put in, say, a 3D model of a person and then generate on top of them something that's more realistic. We're able to fill that need, at I don't even know, it's like maybe definitely more than a tenth the cost, a hundredth the cost. And now we can make sure that we can address that need where in the past we could not, or it would have to be a particular client that invested a huge sum of money. So that's a specific example. And these are like throughout our process, given how much we use computers and stuff to produce our process, to create opportunities that we didn't used to be able to do before. So it's absolutely a follow-up question is, people often say, are you worried about AI replacing, what you do, especially since so much what we do is in the computer? I think that, again, as with all white collar jobs, so far it's a tool. As long as, we're using the tool, that layer of expertise as to like, well, how are you understanding your client? How are you converting, a complex idea into a simple vision? Those pieces, the final leg, the final piece of intelligence, we don't see AI, at least in our industry, replacing it anytime soon. And as long as we're continuing to integrate the tools and staying competitive, we think we're adding something that will keep us at least in the game as without being an AI company. It's not set to wipe out our industries, is our opinion.
Right. And so for those who are looking to learn more about like that specific unit generated images specifically,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That like, how would they discover that as a way to either get engaged or learn? How would they learn about that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So our industry is pretty niche. Just to be, clear, it's a lot of people come from an architecture background. So if you've studied architecture or want to go to architecture school, that gives you a baseline to understand the kinds of spaces we represent. But increasingly, we're hiring from the gaming industry. And so a great way to get into it is, and there's so many free resources out there to learn some of the game engines that are out there now and how they build video games, which is typically very exciting for people. Unreal, Epic's Unreal is is the one we use right now. It's very accessible. It's got a lot of free access. That's tightening to some degree, but it's there to be learned by as many people as possible. There's a lot of content there to learn it. So if you're interested at all in creating video games or creating these virtual worlds that we do, we would recommend anyone, if you do a little bit of Googling Epic Unreal Engine for beginners, you'll get the download, you'll get the software education you need to explore it. Yeah. The bar is very easy now. It used to be a lot harder.
Technology. So I have a question. In your world, what are some of the positive experiences that you have that you're willing to share, and also some of the challenges that you have, and how do you manage them?
You mean as an entrepreneur or as the company, or
either way you want to go?
As an entrepreneur, it's immensely satisfying to provide a service or product to a customer and have them appreciate what you did and feel like you created, your contact with the impact that you're doing, and someone pays you and says, hey, I really appreciated that, is a fantastic feeling. I think that's why we're all in it, right? Like we forget that there's that transaction, and the ability to control your own feel in control of your own growth, right? Like that you can really put pieces in place to move your business forward, move your product forward. If you want to explore something, you can. You ultimately bear the responsibility of that, right? That's the challenge of it, is learning to balance. I think there are so many things you can do, and really trying to understand what you should do, what you can do with the bandwidth you have at this stage of your company, and facing those hurdles is probably the biggest challenge, because ultimately you're holding all the strings. You get the ups and you get the downs in a way that when you're not an entrepreneur, you don't get the swings. But I think there's something about entrepreneurs being it's a different mindset. I don't want to say a thrill seeker, but I think you're okay living with those swings. You need to be. I don't know how I feel about it, but that's my opinion.
You do need to be. Derek and I, so for those who are wondering, Derek and I just finished recently a business accelerator. We're learning more about each other's businesses. And as we are continuing to grow, it is not for the faint of heart. Derek talked about these ebbs and flows that happens within your business, and you have to be okay with that. But we had to learn that. It doesn't come automatically.
Yeah.
And know within the first year or 30 days, if you hit the 10 million, tell us the secret, because we definitely
not there yet. Not there yet, but
not there yet. What are your thoughts about leveraging business relationships, Derek?
I mean, I don't think you survive without it. I think I'm not sure relationships are really at the core of. I think when you're an employee or before you're an entrepreneur, you really need your relationships. You never know who you're gonna need to rely on at what stage and when. And I think I'm trying to think of a specific example, but you need community. You can't do it alone. I don't think there's any way to know it until you're an entrepreneur. You might need a piece of advice. You might need an opinion. You might need a business, and your network are your advocates. If people know what you're doing, they're often able to refer you. And that's such an important way of getting new business for any entrepreneur. I'm sure the referral from a trusted source or a referral at the time that someone needs something from not you is just by far the easiest way to get new fruitful relationships. So very important to keep up relationships, and very hard the more you get into it to maintain. And I think that, for me, and I think the people that I respect the most that are other entrepreneurs or have just, done, really interesting things in their career, in my opinion, I think are the ones who have valued relationships at every stage of life. We're of a certain age now where it's decades of between school and jobs and entrepreneurship and business relationships. There's a long list of people, and to remember to hold all those ties. I haven't heard of anyone who does that actively say, gee, I wish I didn't waste time on that. It almost always comes back in some way, shape, or form.
And so now the methods are text messages, group text messages,
yeah,
phone calls, emails, vacations, birthday parties. If you have children, you combine those type of things in your life cycle, and it's a lot to maintain, but it's definitely important.
Yeah, no, fully agree.
And no, we're not in a club every day or at all these days.
Yeah, no.
Not at all.
But it takes work after a while. You have to build habits you have to find your system of how you're going to do it. It's not easy to keep up. And then I'm sure there's always those 1 or 2 or 4, 5, 10 that you forgot for a year or two. And it just, the longer you forget, the harder it is to get back into it without having, do they need a big update or it's almost easier if you just keep it up, I find.
Birthdays are always the best.
Birthdays work. Yeah, birthdays are good ones. Yeah.
So Derek, within your space, how do you create impact?
As a business, we try to, I think that means, just how are we different? That's how I'll interpret the question.
Mm-hmm.
We are, even within our niche, we're a unique blend of, expertise, being very aware of how our client wants their work done with them. We have our processes, but we do tune them very specifically to different clients. and the quality of work, but quality of work is one thing. How you receive it, especially we like to focus on organizations and bigger organizations, how you deliver it is important as the work itself. And we think we're unique in focus.
Someone wants to follow in your footsteps. Hey, Derek, get a phone call. I want to do this. I want to be an architect. What are you guiding them? How are you guiding them? Give us some tips.
I'm going to clarify again. So do you mean like they want to follow my career, or they want to become an entrepreneur, or they want to join my industry, or whatever?
Or however you want to go. So let's start with from the space of being an entrepreneur. You just happen to have, you're educated. You have, you are an architect.
Yeah, I was, I'll say I was blessed with the opportunity to get a lot of education, right? And that's what it takes to be an architect. I think that, so just to be candid, architect as a industry, I think to go through the education for it, there's many ways to approach it. It's possible to spend a lot on education to do it. You should be very clear about what you want to achieve as an architect. It's a great outlet for, in some ways, being creative, and also, and you can see what you do. Like my kids get what I do, which is nice. But it is just candidly, as a lucrative industry, there are easier ways to make money, even if you're an investor in education. And so I think that's a piece, like any career choice, you'd have to decide how you want to apply your interest and time and resources. It's a long road to become an architect. It takes education. You have to choose a degree that gives you into being in an architecture firm. And then you want to make sure that you're on a route to being certified. I forgot the word for it, but basically you want to be able to get the hours, accumulate the hours, like, so that you can become a registered architect and take the exams. There's two roads to do it in the United States. You can do it partly through a number of years of experience and accumulating hours, and you can do it through education or a hybrid. And you have to make your decision as to how you want to do that. Whether you want to do the education route, which is slightly faster than the years, but ultimately I think there's something to be said for the years. So there's a very clear path to be an architect, in terms of schooling, registration, years. It's very simple. And I think it's very fulfilling if you get it right and you're clear about your goals, because again, you get to see your work. It's great for people who like to collaborate, I would say, more than being an artist. It seems like it's a better fit. But it's a wide industry, and I think there's a lot of opportunity to find your niche if you find the right niche.
And for the entrepreneur,
you have to find. I think whenever people ask me this, I think there's one piece of advice I got in the beginning that still stands. Is a lot of people think they want to be an entrepreneur because you think you have an idea, you think you can do it. Your first challenge, and it's still true deep into it, is you have to convince someone to give you money to do something or give you money to buy something. That's your only job. If you can do that, then you might have a business. And then you can decide if you or try to do it. You have an idea, try to get someone to buy it. If you think you can provide a service, try to get someone to pay for it. Can you do it? And I think through that, you can decide if, after that point, can I grow this? Can I sustain this? Is it what I thought it would be? And then if that kind of works out, then you can kind of decide if it's for you. And if you're going to do it, make sure that you are in for the long haul. Almost anything you think, the finances, the time, it's probably 2, 4, 5, 10 times more than you thought it was going to be. And you better have either you better be, ways to do it are to moonlight in your normal job and get legs under what you're doing and make sure that it's going to sustain before you sort of jump ship from your job, or understand your network and how your network can help launch what you're going to do, and make sure. And this network has to be not just friends who are like, I love what you're doing, I think it's so great, you're going to be successful, but a network who has literally built what you want to build, or in a parallel way, and can advise you on, well, listen, like if you want to get to this level of revenue, or you want to like open up this market, this is how I did it, and this is how you're going to do it, and have that kind of network, you know, help you through the process, not just, you know, cheerleaders, who you need lots of. But if you're someone who thinks you can set up a business, you're going to have cheerleaders probably. People are going to tell you you're going to be great.
We need the money.
Yeah, I don't know how I ended up there, Anita, but that tidbit I always thought is most helpful for someone thinking about it is, okay, someone's going to hand you money. Can you do it?
Well, I've done it. You've done it.
It cuts through all ideas of, you know, dreams.
So, that's a good one. So, Derek, I am happy that you have taken time out of your schedule. Got some quick, rapid questions. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, I love a pasta carbonara.
These days?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, these days. So, are you cooking? That's what I was going to ask. Are you cooking? It's yourself?
Yeah, I cook it once a week. It's something that everyone in my family will eat, including my picky young children. And so I love it. They love it. It's a win for all.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Second question. What is your preference these days for footwear, shoes or sneakers?
Oh, I'm shoes. I'm a conservative guy. I don't wear sneakers except to go running. It's always been shoes.
Always been shoes. That's a hoodie and t-shirt these days. Yeah. In 3 years, where is RedLeaf New York going?
Oh, good question. I would love to be, well, our goal is to be literally 10x. We came out of this accelerator. I think it's helped us focus what we're doing. We have some really exciting new technology-based products and tools that I think will give us the tools to grow the business. That's what we're trying to do. And talk to me in 1 and 2 and 3 years. Let's see if we're on track. But, you know, I think we have a good plan in place.
Yeah, after all the crying that I did, I think I cried enough for everybody. That's a joke, but it was very. It taught us a lot, but it also helped us to figure out some of the gaps that we have within our business to help us to improve so that we can 10x our businesses. So, Derek, thank you so much for joining today. RedLeafNY.com is where you can find Derek and his team. And I always say, don't spam the folks that I share through this specific space. We want your business, we want to support you, but just be respectful and responsible. So yes, here we go, Derek. Thank you so much for joining today, RedLeafNY.com. Derek, you're awesome. You are awesome.
Thanks for having us, Anita. Nice to see you.
All right, nice to see you as well. Take good care.
All right, thanks.
All right,
bye-bye.
So there you have it, good folks. We have some great resources that are available, redleafny.com. Derek Chan is the principal there at RedLeaf. But you know, I am not going to leave you here without additional information. So if you are interested in getting and learning or connecting, again, we have a number of chambers within the 5 boroughs and in the state that you can check out. Upstate US, the Brooklyn, Hispanic, Queens Chamber, Bronx, and Staten Island, Manhattan, are very resourceful places if you're looking to gain additional resources. Also, apply for the Goldman Sachs 10KSB if you are, again, there and looking to be a part of an alumni association and group. Very smart and thoughtful entrepreneurs connected there. Check us out, Goldman Sachs 10KSB. If you're interested in being featured or want to buy an ad, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're at info@11375.com, or you can call 66 or email us at info@11375.com. And so on that note, I want to thank you for joining us today. Again, please don't forget to like, share, and follow us. We are on 11375 on YouTube and also Instagram and also LinkedIn and Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. Take good care. Bye-bye. Welcome to the real journey of the entrepreneur. The journey of any entrepreneur begins with a decision, then writing down your vision, then the execution of that vision. It is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who understand how powerful your mind is and that you can truly create the life that you deserve. It does require a unique formula that includes belief in yourself, a lot of consistency, connecting with an OG, a lot of tears, missing out on a few events and things, and taking a whole lot of risks that will allow you to see your vision and dream come to pass. This journey of the entrepreneur is from the perspective of a wonderful mother, a business owner, whose goal is to break generational barriers and normalize the process of wealth building and financial wellness through entrepreneurship, all while creating a social and give back along the way. I am sharing this journey with you and invite you to share this process with me. Let's do this together. It's my own, but you have to feel comfortable to own it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I will always support you.
Thank you.
Welcome to 11375. My name is Anita Pierce, and I am your Chief Experience Officer. At 11375, we offer strategic alignment solutions specific to you and your business goals, and also connecting everything with social impact. So if you are looking for a really amazing organization where we help you to focus your strategy and connecting it with social impact, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are on all the social platforms, and you can contact us at 11375.